Hi everyone, I'm Dad,
I'm daughter.
and this is
F1 news of the
with
week.
with
Dad and daughter Formula One Duo.
awesome. All right, so this is our Chinese Grand Prix recap, our little summary of what happened during the Chinese Grand Prix. Now, the Chinese Grand Prix was made up of two races. Can you tell me what those two races are?
The sprint race and the Grand Prix.
Perfect.
But I like to call it the long race.
The long race, right?
Because it takes so many hours.
So the sprint race and the Grand Prix. Now, the sprint race, which we've talked about before, is a shorter race related to, in comparison to the Grand Prix,
to the long race.
To the long race. Can you tell us who won the sprint race?
Lewis Hamilton.
Who qualified in which position? In pole for the sprint race and got first. Exactly right. Which was?
I could never stay in that position.
No, I would.
The first second. Okay, well. Oh, I'm already in first. Okay, let me just. Oop.
Oh yeah,
the first 10. Oop, the car is already done.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I did. I think those cars are too fast for me. But Lewis won his first race with Ferrari, which is an awesome accomplishment. He's well on his way to getting some points. But then the Grand Prix comes around. Do you remember who got pole for the Grand Prix, though?
It was
your favorite driver.
Oh yes, Oscar Piastri.
It was Oscar Piastri who got pole. And then we saw a somewhat boring race because not a lot of action happened.
Back to the people about those tickets where they go into the you get to see all of the cars and nothing really happened.
Yeah.
And then you want to see nothing happen.
Yeah. So it was a little bit of a boring race, right? Not too much action was going on. Not too many great overtakes or anything like that. The best thing that kind of happened in the entire race was Lewis and Charles kind of got mad at each other a little bit because they asked Lewis to switch positions with Charles. Lewis was ahead of Charles during the race, and Charles kept saying, hey, I thought we were going to switch positions if I was doing better. And Lewis kept telling him, well, if he catches up, I'll switch positions. If he catches up, I'll switch positions. So it got a little bit awkward and tense there, but nothing too serious. Aside from that, the only other exciting kind of thing that happened in the race was also Charles and Lewis hitting each other on the very first lap of the race. And that was kind of it. And then it was kind of a take-home victory for Oscar because he got pole and he kept it.
Amazing.
And he did amazing, right? He really should have been driver of the day, but he didn't get driver of the day. The one who got driver of the day was Kimi Antonelli.
Because he's a rookie. He was amazing.
You know, he's pretty amazing so far. His race wasn't astonishing or anything like that, but he's been consistently scoring points. He scored points in Australia, scored points in the sprint, and now scored points
in China.
In the Chinese Grand Prix. He's doing fairly well. For a rookie who's 18 years old, he's doing pretty awesome. What's that?
The first turn I would be out.
yeah, I would be out too on the very first turn. So Oscar won the race. Who got second?
That was Lando Norris, his teammate.
Yeah, so
they have an amazing partnership.
They do have a very, very good partnership, right? They're very good teammates. Lando was doing pretty well, and then he started complaining at one point that his brakes weren't working very well and that he kept having to push very, very hard to get to the braking point with the brake itself. And he was saying that towards the very end, but the last two laps, the brake was almost hitting the floor of the car, and he was getting kind of worried that he wasn't going to be able to stop in one of those turns. But he was able to finish the race, and it was all okay. And then third place, who did we have?
We had...
Who did it take?
Oh, I remember. It was Lewis.
No.
No, it wasn't Lewis. Why did I say Lewis? It was George Russell.
George Russell, exactly right.
I thought he was still in the States.
You know, it was George Russell. So George Russell got third place. So again, George is doing pretty well also, right? I mean, he's been doing well. Now, the exciting thing happened was, well, I guess, well, a little bit of exciting thing, not really exciting thing. So one sad thing was Liam Lawson being in the very back of the grid, qualifying 20th position for the Grand Prix, 18th for the sprint race. didn't do well. If you haven't seen our other video talking about Liam Lawson and potentially what might happen with Liam, make sure to go and click on our other video.
For that.
Yes, not on our other channel.
On our channel. I said on our channel.
On our channel, exactly right. I was like, what other channel? I was like, I don't have another channel. I was like, what is this? I was like, I don't have time for 2 channels.
But not really. Not really. I don't feel like
But so Liam potentially might get replaced. So make sure to go and watch that video and see all our notes on that. But the other exciting thing that happened after the race, because what happened after the race?
Oh, 3 whole people got disqualified.
So 3 drivers got disqualified. First one was Pierre Gasly for having an underweight car. Second
was Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton for having his skid plate, so the bottom part, the plank right down here on the bottom of the car, got a little bit too thin. Okay. Probably it was. They said it was the size of a credit card. I was looking for a credit card on me. The size of the width of a credit card. That tiny. Imagine like that amount was what he had too much wear. And that's what disqualified him. And then the other individual that also got disqualified for having an underweight car was
Charles Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc. So for the entire Grand Prix, that we had Lewis and Charles both scoring points, both got disqualified and didn't score any points the whole weekend, which is a disaster.
Tragedy.
It is a tragedy. Very well said. I like that word. It was a tragedy, not a disaster. It's a tragedy for Ferrari. It's a tragedy for Leclerc and for Ferrari and Hamilton fans. And it's something that keeps happening during the sprint races that is
go too fast.
That's leading to these disqualifications because of too much wear, or in the particular case with Charles, that we've got an underweight car.
One more question is, so they weigh the cars?
They weigh the cars. So the cars have to weigh.
I can't imagine how big the scale is.
Yeah, it's a pretty big scale. So the cars have to weigh, after the race, 800 kilograms. 800 kilograms. So that's a lot.
Doesn't like, since, I don't know what kind, do they use gas in their cars? I don't know.
They do. They use a certain type of fuel in it,
like
yeah.
Diesel or something?
No, it's not diesel. It's a certain type of fuel that they use that's special.
Well, they use it.
Yeah.
Anyways, so then they're scraping it and scraping. So if your car is exactly 8,000, you think, oh my god, yeah, it'll totally work.
Yeah.
No, it won't. It's gonna at least lose 4 or 5 kilograms.
Yeah.
Or maybe even 100 kilograms. That is a giant possibility.
So a lot of it really comes down to how much water weight the drivers lose during the race from sweating, how much wear there is on the tires. So that's why you'll hear at the very end of the race, the engineers will come on the race or come on the radio and tell the driver, okay, drive around and pick up rubber. You'll hear that a lot. Pick up rubber. And what does that mean? It means that as the race has gone through and the tires have dropped off pieces of the rubber, they stay on the track. So at the very end, before they come in back to Parc Ferme, right back into the garage, they've got to drive around and pick up as much as those bits of rubber that are on the floor to get stuck back on their tires, so that way it increases the weight of the car so they can make weight. So even when you think, hey, the race is done, it's over, I'm going to turn off the TV, I'm turning off F1 because the race is over. Nothing is over until it's truly over, because even that is going to have an effect. So overall, the race itself,
they didn't pick up enough rubber.
They didn't pick up enough rubber. Exactly right. There were 1 kilogram under the weight limit. So there were 799 kilograms. Yep. So 1 kilogram. So 2.2 pounds is what it equates to. So it wasn't an exciting race. It wasn't a very exciting weekend in terms of a lot of action on track. A lot of it came from afterwards. A lot of it comes now because Liam Lawson, so that way they can see you, and Liam Lawson potentially getting replaced. So we'll see what it's going to look like in Japan. Will things look different?
Don't forget to see more of Liam Lawson in the video. We'll talk about what team he might go to, or if he's gonna stay, or if he's gonna do anything.
Yes.
So don't forget to go look in those videos.
Yes. So anything else that you want to say before we end for tonight?
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and look out our other video.
Bye, everyone.
Beep.